Welcome to the demonstration for how to lodge your grant application for internal approval. Applications for external research funding pass through a series of internal approvals prior to submission to the funder. Researchers should use the relevant online form to lodge the application, which workflows electronically for internal checking and approval. Application records for externally funded grants, contracts, consultancy work, tenders, scholarships, donations and fellowships can all be created in Pure. In this video, you will learn how to create a grant application record, add information about the people involved, add funding information for the project, and submit the application for internal approval. Please remember, you still need to submit your application in the funder system. This video explains how to get approval to do so. You will need to have the following information from the funder system to complete the application: project title, project description, project reference number if you have one from the funder system, amount you are applying for. From the Personal Overview screen, to create an application, navigate to the Applications heading on the left-hand side of the screen and select the plus icon. In the window that appears, select Application. A list of application types will appear. From the list, select Grant, then select Proposal. The application record screen will now appear, ready for you to populate the details of your application. The first field you'll need to complete is the title of the project. This should match the title of the application you are submitting in the funder system. The application description is a summary of your project that approvers will read to get a high-level idea of what your project is about. It is important that the description you write is clear and succinct and focuses on the aims, significance, and expected outcomes and the benefits of the project. Here's an example project description. Providing a description will make it easier for application to be approved more quickly, as this is one of the first things an approver sees when looking at applications they need to approve. The next section is all about IDs. Typically, the funder will assign applications with a reference number, and you can go ahead and add that number here. Click on the Add ID icon and choose the type Funder Ref, enter the number. This will ensure the MRO staff can easily match the Pure application record with the application in the funder system. If you don't have a funder reference, as can be the case with smaller funders, leave it blank. Next, you will need to populate the details of everyone who will be collaborating on this application. When you created the record, the system automatically added your details and the details of your organisational unit, as well as naming you as the Primary Chief Investigator, or PCI. If this isn't correct, you change your role in the drop-down list. You can add additional collaborators and define the roles they will hold by selecting the Add Person button. The Application Managed By section is automatically populated based on where the Primary Chief Investigator is employed. This is important as it determines who will be checking and approving your application. If you have changed the roles, you will also need to manually change the Managing Organisational Unit. If you have external partners, you must select Yes in the Collaborative Partners section of the form. The system will now automatically add all the organisational details for all of your collaborators. In the situation where Monash isn't the lead, you must reassign the lead. Now you will need to complete the funding details for the application. In the Funding Opportunity section, select the Add icon. Start typing to search for the funding scheme name, for example, ARC Discovery Scheme. In Funding section, select the Add Funding button and a pop-up will appear. For this example, the funder will be the Australian Research Council. Start by typing the name of the funder and the system will search for matches as you type. Then select the funder you want to add from the list. Now scroll to the bottom of the pop-up and add in the amount you are applying for. If this is a multidisciplinary or multi-institutional project, you now need to indicate how the funding will be split between the partners. It's important to have had this discussion with your partners before lodging your application for approval. This enables all of the people who are reviewing it, both at Monash and by the partner organisations, to see how much of the funds is allocated to Monash and how much is allocated to any partners. Select the Create button to add these details to the record and close the pop-up. The pop-up screen closes and you will see these amounts back in the main application record. You will need to repeat the process of adding funding for all your funding contributions, internal or external. Application approvers will be particularly interested in checking where any cash and in-kind internal contributions are coming from. We'll focus on showing you how to add internal contribution information. This is done by clicking on the same Add Funding button each time, selecting the type of contribution as Monash University, Faculty, Department, School Funding as the funding organisation, entering the name of the faculty, school or department which is contributing funding in the Funding Project Scheme field, and entering the amount in the Applied Amount field. Select Create. The next step is to add the funder deadline in the Funder Status section. Approvers will filter applications based on the funder status to prioritise which applications they need to review and approve most urgently. Next, scroll to the Life Cycle section of the application record. Here, you will need to enter the proposed start and end dates for the project. You can do this by either using the calendar or simply typing the dates. It's up to you which method you choose. Now, the next thing you must do is attach all relevant documents. For example, the application, costing model, and any certification forms. Navigate to where you have the files saved and select the documents you want to upload. You will be required to select a type for each document you upload. This type selection helps to file and categorise documents in the system. Select the Create button. In the Add Field of Research section, you need to assign Field of Research codes which are relevant to this project. Selecting the Add Field of Research button brings up a new screen. Here, you need to enter the FOR codes which reflect the nature of research in your project. You can enter the code directly if you know it, or search and select from a drop-down list. Then assign a percentage to that code and select the Create button. Manually check that the percentages total 100%. You would only complete the project risk section of the application when doing contract research, or if there is an exceptionally high risk associated with your grant application project. You will have now populated all the required information for your application. If you are not ready to submit the application, you can save it now. Once you're satisfied that your application is ready for MRO compliance check, select the Pre-Approval button. This is required for all grant applications prior to submission to local approvers. Selecting the Pre-Approver button will save your application, submit it to the Monash Research Office for compliance checking, and close the application screen. More support materials are available from the My Research website, www.monash.edu/myresearch.